am joined by a very special guest today, the one and only F1 Academy driver, Nicole havrda. So, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. So can you just talk about your current racing and what you're doing right now?
Yeah, so this year I'm obviously racing in the F1 Academy with High Tech alongside American Express. And this weekend's actually Montreal Grand Prix weekend, which is my home race, which is super exciting. And we do have three races this weekend, which is kind of it's different. Usually we have two, but since Miami got a little postponed because of the rain, they added one race to Montreal, so now we have three.
So, how are you feeling that it's your first like home race with F1 Academy?
It's hectic. Honestly, like everything getting paired and then just literally the whole weekend. I don't even know like if I even have a second to like just chill. Because there's just so many interviews, everyone wants to talk to me. Especially because it's like the first race in Montreal for the F1 Academy. So it's like super big for the academy in general. And then obviously alongside Formula One is it's huge. So just honestly everything. Obviously just very, very excited. I mean, I can't really say it's like my home because like I'm all the way on the West Coast. Like I'm as far from Montreal as it gets. Uh, but I mean, it's still Canadian. Still love Montreal. I've been to like F1 races there. I think I've been to two, which I mean, I love Montreal. Just like the old town, like the old part of the city is very nice. Love visiting. Except for when it rains. I'm really hoping it doesn't rain here. I mean, it literally always rains. Like I swear, like last year, every year it rains. So that's probably the one thing I don't like about it. But I mean that's a Canadian thing, I think. So honestly just really looking forward to meeting all the fans. I know there can be a bunch. And then just looking forward to the races as well. The track is super fun, the layout, everything. I've never driven there, but like driving on the sim and stuff is super fun. So just excited for the whole weekend.
And so, how did motorsport like first come into your life?
Yeah, it was kind of random. I used to be a swimmer, and before I was like really focused on like going to the Olympics and like getting a scholarship and all this stuff for swimming. And I ended up going to Formula One race actually in Austria. My dad brought me there. And because we went for like a road trip through Europe because my family lives in like Europe. So we ended up going for a road trip there. And then I never really was into motorsports. Like I didn't care for it at all. Like because there wasn't like the F1 Drive to Survive where it actually like brought people in. Like back then it was just like racing. Like
Yeah.
no one really saw like, the media and all that kind of stuff. So it wasn't really in everyone's faces. So I just kind of got started. I looked at the car like when we first got to the track, I was like, this is actually I love this. Like I want to do this because I realized in swimming didn't really give me an adrenaline rush or anything. So I don't want to say I got bored of it, but like I was kind of like there was nothing giving me a spark. And I think when I got in racing, I was like, yeah, this is amazing. Like the adrenaline it gives you just everything is like it's just amazing. Like I love it. And then obviously got started in karting where everyone else gets started. Raced around Canada. I actually raced in Montreal a few times in Mont Tremblant, which is quite
Oh.
funny. Um, and then yeah, just raced karting and then obviously got started in the cars from there.
Yeah, and how did you transition into single seaters?
Oh, that was random. Um, so um So basically, I was karting and I actually got called up by the Mercedes-Benz Canada. They were like, we actually want to do a documentary about you. So we started filming a documentary. They filmed me in karting, and then they started filming because I ended up doing how it was. They wanted to film the documentary of us in like there were three of us girls, and it was about us in our racing worlds, and then they wanted to bring us to like the next level. So like I ended up doing a 4 hour endurance race in a Mercedes-Benz GT4 race car. And that was the first time I've actually raced like a race car. And I was 14 years old, and it was the craziest thing because it was like a night race, and it was like crazy. And then from there, I actually ended up driving a Formula 4 car, testing that. And then I tested for the W Series. And then the W Series said that we'll take you next year. So when they said that, we were like, okay, we're gonna get a Formula Regional car, which is what they race in W Series. So I would be practicing in the Formula Regional car instead of a Formula 4 car. So I never actually raced in Formula 4. So the whole like F1 Academy thing is very new to me because we raced that 4 car in F1 Academy. And I've never actually like this is my first time driving it. So it is all quite new. But basically it was all kind of just meant to be like meant to happen to get into open wheels. Like obviously I knew that I wanted to go to Formula One and I wanted to go that way. But I never knew what to do. Like there's no path. Like it is so confusing in motorsports. Now it's a little easier, especially for a woman, because you do really good on karting and stuff, and then you try to get into like the F1 Academy. But before it was like really confusing. Like we did have the W Series, but the W Series is the next step. It's like usually you go Formula 4 to Formula 3, not Formula Regional, which is basic, it's very close to a Formula 3 car. But it was definitely like harder like back then, I would say. Especially with like the outlook of like motorsports wasn't a huge thing. Like I mean people
Yeah.
knew about it, but like now people really know about it, especially like the F1 Academy. There's a whole like documentary about it or show about it now on Netflix. So it's yeah, that's kind of how I started in open wheels. It's all yeah.
And did you face any major challenges while you're working up the ranks?
I mean, there's always going to be challenges. Obviously, like you have your highs and lows in racing, as well as like social media. Um, Quite a big thing. Like you do get like some people that are kind of against, women in racing or whatever. Um, I don't really look at that. I mean, it's not important. Um, Not really. I've never really faced any like big like other than like your lows and down like highs in racing. That's normal. Like when you have a bad weekend or a really good weekend, that's pretty normal. So
What's a typical race weekend like for you?
busy. That's kind of how I would start it. I mean, obviously we get to the track on no, we have media day on Wednesday. So the whole kind of day for me, like I have my Amex shop small stuff that we film. So I go to like a woman-owned business, and we do that filming. And then Thursday is like a track walk, as well as a few other media things, and then just like a briefing about like the track and just getting ready for like Friday, which we drive on Friday. We have, I mean, it changes kind of every weekend now. We have free practice one on Friday, and then we have qualifying, which kind of sucks because we have only one practice in Montreal, which in Miami we had two practices, and then like in China we had like a whole week. Like, well, we had 2 days, like 2 weeks before, so we ended up with a lot of practice before that. But yeah, the weekends are really, really hectic. There's a lot of like going back and forth, like through media, and then you have to go do your briefing for getting on track, and then you have to get ready, like you have to warm up, and then you have to like focus on eating at the right times because you can't eat too early or too late before like the race or whatever. So it's definitely a lot happening, and then just with all the people coming around. But it is part of the fun. I'd say I quite enjoy it. It's very different compared to like all the other series. Like when you get into like, I mean, GB3 or F3 or something, it's I'd say it's more chill, even though the racing is harder.
And of course, it is so like crazy and hectic. So, how do you kind of mentally prepare and just get in the zone before a race or just the whole weekend?
I mean, I kind of just like try to find like a space where I'm just like quiet and calm and stuff. And I think music sometimes helps me, or just, talking to like my parents or something that quite helps. But honestly, just like being in my own kind of zone, and not focusing on like not getting overwhelmed by everything and just trying to enjoy it while it is. Because like I know this media stuff isn't always going to be there. Like when I move to the next step in racing, it's not always going to be there. So Definitely just like, enjoying it while it is, but also getting into the zone is quite something else. Like just trying to listen to music and just like because we have like our own little boxes where like me and my other teammates, we just kind of sit and like chat and we like watch TikToks or whatever when we have free time. So we just like have fun, honestly, and just try to not get overwhelmed. I think that's the biggest thing.
Who are you closest with on the F1 Academy grid?
I mean, I would say my teammate, Ava.
Yeah.
So, which is hard because I have only one teammate in a way because I have the wild card on my team as well. So it changes every weekend. So it's quite funny. But yeah, definitely Ava and I are pretty close.
So how would you describe your on track and your racing style?
I would say consistent and clean.
And do you have a favorite track that you've raced on so far in F1 Academy or just anything?
I'd say like ever, I'd say Indianapolis because it's like iconic, very North American style. Um, or ooh, I quite like Jeddah. Jeddah was pretty fun as well. Or Circuit of the Americas. I really like Circuit of the Americas. Miami is nice. I'm excited for Vegas.
Yeah.
I'm really excited for that one. That one's gonna be crazy.
Yeah, because like just driving on the Las Vegas streets is just so
Yeah.
surreal. So are there any standout battles or moments that really stick out to you?
I'd say Miami going into turn 11. Uh, there's me, Chloe Chung, and Ella Lloyd. We had like a little moment just going three wide into turn 11. I'd say that one stands out the most.
What does it mean to be part of a series that's so focused on female representation and kind of like having that safety net, I guess?
I think it's huge, and it's like the next. It's where all girls should be, like when they're like getting up the racing ladder. Just because of the marketing, it's honestly huge. Like being alongside Formula One, having a Netflix, like being on Netflix is also huge, and like getting as many views as we are. Like there's so many eyes on us because like social media, and then just at the track because Formula One is there. So it's definitely I think super important. Then having also Susie Wolf like just having her like directing like is crazy. And then all the other, the teams like the F1 team supporting F1 Academy and then all the big brands. Like it is so huge, like because we're so out there and the marketing is so huge that it's like it's just so well done. Like it's just very well organized and it's pretty cool to see like just during the weekend how well everything is planned and scheduled, especially like there are 18 of us. Like they have to deal with 18 drivers. So it's quite like I don't know how they do it. Like it is a lot. But I think it's just the marketing is really, really big there.
And how does it feel to work with so many talented females, like your competitors, but also people like Susie Wolf?
It is really cool. Like just seeing like when she walks, like Susie walks through the paddock, or we have like our little meeting before the race weekend with her. And it's just super cool, like having that and then having them around you and wanting to help you as well and like support you. It's just yeah, it's just really cool.
When you're not like racing or preparing for a weekend, how do you kind of unwind?
I mean, when I come home, I just kind of like naturally unwind because I'm home. So it just kind of has that like cozy feeling. Like obviously during the race weekend, sorry, I got like a buzzing going on now. Obviously during race weekend, it's very hectic and there's so much going on. But like when it hits Monday and I'm on the plane, it all just kind of like flows through me and it all just kind of like disappears. Like all the stress and all that. Obviously, there's like quite a lot of stress through the weekends. But just coming home, I try to like, I don't know, sit by the pool and just like take like a day just to relax and like think about like what just happened and like how the race weekend actually went and then just like also I think a big thing is like physio and like massage like I went to like the other day I think it was a few days ago I went to like a hot yoga. It
Oh,
was like the craziest experience ever. I've never done a hot yoga. I've done yoga but not hot, and it was crazy. Like I was drenched but it was so peaceful. Like I've never been so at peace with myself. Like after like obviously you're exhausted, you're just laying there like just sweat, like gross, like different. But just like the peace, like I don't know what it does. It's like the
yeah.
sound and all that. Like you kind of just you're like fully relaxed and you let everything go, which is quite nice. So I just try to like decompress from everything. But then also the next day I try to get ready for the next race. So
So you just have that day of like having a break and then you go back to it like full force.
yeah.
Do you have any favorite like music or books or anything specific that really helps you when you're a bit stressed or just you're not racing?
I'm listening to Spanish music right now, which is super
Ooh.
weird. I don't know why. I'm not sure why. Um, yeah, I try to read quite a lot, just to like calm myself in a way and then also just learn. I really like I think they're called bibliographies or whatever about other racers. I like reading about other racers. So
Yeah.
I read like Lewis Hamilton, Danica Patrick, Kimi Räikkönen, which just learning about like their lives and like how they went through racing. I quite like those. Music is really a big thing for me, just like when I'm sitting on the plane or I go like I do lots of walks. Like I literally do like I think yesterday I did like a 5 mile walk just randomly. Like I'll just walk. Because I don't know, I just listen to a podcast and I just kind of walk. And I just keep walking because the podcast keeps going.
Yeah.
So but just kind of like enjoying life as well and having fun. Obviously racing is like work basically. That's how I take it. So I like take training all as work and stuff that I have to do it. But then also taking those moments and just like relaxing and coming to myself and listening to podcasts and walking in the nature or whatever. So yeah.
So what are you working towards right now, short term and long term?
I would say short term, just like keep developing. Like the team is new to the F1 Academy. So just we're learning so much together. Like because they don't know like the exact setup to put in the car because like a lot of other teams have been to Miami, so they knew exactly what setup right away. So like we're still like learning together. So it's a lot of learning. That's the biggest thing right now. So just like keep improving and developing and all that. And then long term, obviously, like podiums would be really nice in the academy. But yeah, we'll see what happens. Honestly, just I just keep moving forward. So that's the biggest
Yeah.
thing.
Where do you see yourself in 5 years' time?
I don't know. I don't even know where I see myself like in a month. I'm kind of like right now, just like tomorrow, thinking about planning for the next day. I'd say like 5 years, definitely want to be higher up the ladder. Whether it's my biggest thing is like whether it's Formula One or IndyCar or like GT cars, I'll enjoy it no matter what. Like whatever, whenever it's like in racing, I'll enjoy it. Like even if at the end of the day, like racing doesn't work out or whatever, obviously, like I want it to and all that. But I'll still be in racing, like whether I'll be a coach, maybe an engineer, but just like sticking to racing, I honestly can't tell what 5 years is because, tomorrow all my budget could just disappear, right? So anything could really happen. It's racing. So I could also break my leg tomorrow. So it's just like a kind of like a gamble in a way. But just kind of going with the flow. Obviously, like I have my goals, but I'm just trying to enjoy what I have right now. And I'm racing in the F1 Academy, which is super cool. Like racing around the world is insane. So
And having that Formula One supporting you must be like insane to know it's the 20 best drivers in the world and they're there with you.
yeah, it's
So,
insane.
yeah. Are there any specific teams or drivers that you would love to work with?
Teams or drivers? Obviously I'd love to work with like Lewis Hamilton. Um, he's always been my favorite, just since like the start. And then I'd say like team. Honestly, any F1 team would be really, really cool. Mercedes or Ferrari would be cool. McLaren would be also cool. Honestly, just anyone.
So, what advice would you give to young people who want to be racing drivers?
I'd say the biggest thing is like believe in yourself and like don't talk bad about yourself. I think like sometimes like even I get stuck in like the point where you talk bad about yourself, like oh you shouldn't be there or like I don't deserve this or whatever. And I think the biggest thing is like you got to be your own cheerleader and like you got to support yourself. Like even if if no one else supports you, you got to be there for yourself, and just like believing in yourself, and like whatever it is, like even if like you don't want to be a racer and you want to like go towards like a line of work, like to be a vet or something, just like you have to make sure you like enjoy what you're doing as a work. Like you have to go to work and actually enjoy it and have fun. And not just go because like you have to. I think that's like the biggest thing. That's like the biggest advice like I have gotten like is like have fun. You gotta have fun with it and you gotta enjoy it. And instead of like just kind of like going on and just like not enjoying it because you're just gonna get bored of it. Um, I think that's the biggest advice. Like I even like I got this advice and then I just like passed it on to other people just like
Yeah.
to have fun. So
And I mean, the F1 Academy Netflix series came out a while ago. So have you watched that?
yeah, I got to episode 5.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've been binge watching it. It's
Yeah.
amazing. And to see like all of these drivers who raced last year, and I mean, possibly they might do one this year, I don't know. But how does that feel to know that there's such big exposure of your series?
I think it's just like it's a good feeling that everyone like obviously you got like people that don't support, but then you also have people that support. It's honestly just a good feeling to have it so huge and then have so many eyes on you. And obviously like it is a little pressure, but it's just pretty cool seeing like what they are doing for the academy and like how much they want to push and how many people are actually like enjoying it. Like the amount of people that actually messaged me and said, oh, it's so cool. Like the whatever it is, the show is
Yeah.
like cool to watch. I'm hoping to see you next year on there. Like just like hearing that is like super cool and just like seeing how big it's growing. And like the premieres, like they're super huge. And then just like everything is it's really cool, honestly.
And I mean, you're so young and you're already racing in like F1 Academy, and you have like thousands of people are supporting you, and just you're amazing. So, how does that make you feel knowing that there are so many people looking up to you, and especially going into Canada? Like, there's probably going to be some young Canadian girl being like, oh my God, she's from where I am, and just watching you.
It's kind of like a surreal feeling because I remember being that young girl that was looking up to like the Formula One drivers or other, women that were racing. So it's like kind of like a surreal feeling that I am that now. Like even though like I'm still continuing my career, like I'm not done at all yet. Um, but it's super cool, especially like a home race. Like having that is insane. Like I never thought I would actually be racing in Montreal, like with Formula One. It's really, really cool. But I'm honestly just really, really excited to see all the girls. I know there are going to be a bunch. And then just also being in Canada, I feel like I've never raced open wheels in Canada or cars in general. No, I just lied. I lied. I raced in motorsport. Um, but not in Montreal. I'll go with that.
And do you have any kind of final words or pieces of advice for anyone listening right now?
I would say, um, oh, advice. I would say go out and do it. And then another thing I would say is go watch Formula One Academy on Netflix and YouTube for Montreal.
So, thank you so much for taking some time to sit and chat with me, and good luck for Canada.
Thank you.